Before the tech, before the hype, bikes were built to ride, not to impress. And some of those rides are still out there, forgotten and undervalued. These 7 motorcycles are the real deal. Cheap, reliable, and more fun than anything twice their price. Number 7. Yamaha FZ6R. It does not scream for the spotlight, but it quietly delivers where it counts. In a market crowded with flashy sport bikes and underwhelming commuters, this bike strikes a rare middle ground, offering practical performance, rider-friendly ergonomics, and undeniable value. Often ignored on showroom floors and passed over in used listings, it remains one of the best-kept secrets for riders who want substance over hype. Comfortable, dependable, and affordable. It is the kind of machine you appreciate more with every mile and wonder why more people are not riding it. Powering this machine is a 600 cubic centimeter inline 4-cylinder engine. It produces 78 horsepower and 44 pound-feet of torque, offering smooth power delivery without the harshness or aggression of full-on supersport bikes. The engine was derived from Yamaha's older race platforms but tuned specifically for everyday use. That means it has enough muscle to push you through highway traffic or weekend curves, but it never overwhelms you when pulling away from a stoplight. It's the perfect sweet spot between new rider-friendly and experienced rider fun. The upright ergonomics are where it really shines. Unlike most 600 class sport bikes that force you into a crouched position, this one offers a relaxed triangle. The bars are higher, the pegs are slightly forward, and the seat gives you just enough padding for longer hauls. It's a design that older riders appreciate, especially those dealing with wrist fatigue or back pain. You can ride this thing for hours without ending up sore, and that's not something most supersports can say. The handling is stable and confidence-inspiring. Weighing just under 470 pounds wet, it is light enough for tight maneuvers, but solid on the highway. Suspension duties are handled by non-adjustable components, but they're well-tuned for a mix of comfort and control. Whether you're riding solo, carrying gear, or tackling uneven pavement, the bike absorbs road imperfections without harsh feedback. Looks-wise, it holds its own. The full fairing gives it a sharp, aggressive profile. While it doesn't have the sharp angles or flashy graphics of modern race bikes, it has a clean, cohesive look that hasn't aged poorly. Paint finishes have proven durable over time, and the fit and finish on these bikes hold up better than most in their price bracket. Riders often say it looks more expensive than it is, and that's never a bad thing. One of the biggest reasons this bike is a hidden gem is its cost of ownership. Oil changes are simple, chain maintenance is routine, and because the bike shares its engine architecture with Yamaha's older platforms, there's a huge supply of parts and aftermarket support. That means fewer dealer visits, more affordable upkeep, and less stress when something eventually wears out. It's a machine that rewards the rider who likes turning a wrench on weekends or just wants to avoid constant trips to the service desk. Best of all, the price. You can find clean, used examples between $3,500 and $4,500. But if you're looking for something vintage-inspired with bulletproof charm, the next bike keeps it simple and sweet. Number 6. Suzuki TU250X. Most riders barely glance at this one, and that is exactly what makes it a hidden gem. Its modest size, stripped-down style, and retro vibe make it easy to overlook in a sea of chrome monsters and high-tech tourers, but that quiet presence hides a bike built with bulletproof reliability, smooth handling, and unbeatable affordability. It is simple without being boring, classic without feeling outdated, and approachable without sacrificing real-world usefulness. At the heart of the machine is a 249 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine that delivers 16 horsepower and 14 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers will not impress anyone at a bike night, but that is not the point. This engine is built for smooth, steady cruising, not for redline heroics. It's the kind of setup that's perfect for city traffic, weekend backroad trips, or even teaching someone their first clutch release. What makes it really shine is the weight, or lack of it. At just over 325 pounds wet, it feels more like a bicycle with a motor than a traditional motorcycle. That feather-light design makes it incredibly easy to handle, especially for smaller or older riders who want something with zero intimidation factor. You can lean it into corners, lift it onto a trailer, or push it into a tight garage space with one hand. It is confidence on two wheels built into the frame. The ergonomics are just as friendly. You sit upright, the seat is low and wide, and everything feels simple and approachable. The controls are easy to reach, the throttle response is gentle, and the clutch is light without being vague. For someone just getting into motorcycles or even returning after years away, it is one of the most forgiving bikes ever made. Maintenance is another area where this little bike shines. You can do almost everything with basic tools in your own garage. Oil changes, air filters, valve checks. It is all right there, easy to access and simple to learn. For riders who enjoy turning a wrench and keeping costs low, this motorcycle is a dream. There is no complex technology to worry about and no expensive electronics waiting to fail. Just a carbureted single-cylinder engine that has been proven to run forever with regular upkeep. Then there's the fuel economy. Because the engine is small and the weight is low, you can expect mileage numbers north of 70 miles per gallon depending on how and where you ride. That makes it not just fun, but economical to own. Gas stops are few and far between, and you'll start to forget what it feels like to pay for a full tank of premium. Visually, it channels classic motorcycle design. Round headlight teardrop tank, spoke wheels, and that upright standard silhouette that never goes out of style. It is often mistaken for a vintage machine, but that just adds to its appeal. There's a charm to it that newer bikes with plastic bodywork and digital dashboards can't replicate. It feels like a proper motorcycle, and it earns that respect without trying to be flashy. Used examples are plentiful, and they rarely break the bank. It is common to find clean, well-maintained models listed for under $3,500. Clean, classic, and affordable, but if you're after a sportier ride with real versatility, keep your eyes on what's next. If you're into real bikes, not marketing fluff, hit like, tap subscribe, and stick around. We spotlight the machines no one else is talking about. Number 5. Honda Shadow RS. This one slipped through the cracks when it first came out, but for riders in the know, it has become one of the most underappreciated cruisers on the used market. Short-lived in production but strong in character, this bike blends old-school charm with modern practicality and does it all at a price point that keeps your wallet happy. While most riders zero in on bigger models or chase after more mainstream names, this machine delivers performance, comfort, and durability that hold up long after the new bike shine fades. At the heart of it is an 845 cubic centimeter V-twin engine, tuned for low-end grunt and smooth cruising. It produces 43 horsepower and 47 pound-feet of torque right in the sweet spot for relaxed city riding or highway stretches. While it is not a drag strip monster, the power comes on steadily and confidently, giving you just enough pull in every gear to enjoy the ride without constantly shifting or revving out. One of the standout features is the shaft drive, a rarity in this class and a big win for long-term ownership. Unlike chain or belt drives that require regular cleaning, tensioning, or replacement, a shaft drive gives you clean, low-maintenance performance. You ride more and wrench less. It is one of those small details that makes a huge difference after a few thousand miles on the road. Styling-wise, this machine strikes a unique balance between cruiser and standard. The stance is a bit taller than your typical low-slung cruiser. It has higher foot pegs, a flatter seat, and bars that give it a neutral, upright riding position. Some have compared the look to a Sportster, but make no mistake, this isn't trying to copy anything. It has its own identity, and it's better for it. That stance gives you more ground clearance, a tighter lean angle, and better comfort over long rides or winding roads. Weighing in just under 500 pounds wet, it is light enough to throw into corners, but heavy enough to feel planted. The chassis is solid, the suspension is simple but effective, and the overall geometry makes it a perfect all-rounder for both new riders and experienced ones looking for something less demanding. It won't punish your body or your back, something older riders especially appreciate. Another win is its ease of use. The fuel injection eliminates cold start issues. The clutch is light and the gearbox is smooth. Brakes are basic but dependable, and the gauges are clean and easy to read. It feels like a machine built by people who ride, not just engineers trying to meet a spec sheet. Everything is right where it should be. Used bikes in good condition can often be found for under $5,000, and that includes models with low miles and clean titles. That's a serious bargain for a cruiser with a reliable V-twin, a chassis shaft drive, and a riding position that works just as well on Main Street as it does on mountain curves. This one doesn't scream for attention, but once you ride it, it's hard to forget. It offers something most bikes don't: quiet confidence and lasting value. Old school cruisers are great, but what if you want something ready for the commute and the canyon? This next bike handles both with ease. Number 4. Honda NC750X. Some motorcycles look built for thrills. Others are made to be practical. This one does both. It blends utility, comfort, and quiet capability in a way most bikes do not even try to. It is not flashy, it is not loud, and it is not meant to dominate the showroom. But once you understand what it offers, it becomes clear why this is one of the most underrated motorcycles on the road. At the core is a 745 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine. It delivers 54 horsepower and 50 pound-feet of torque, plenty for everyday riding, weekend adventures, and even light touring. That power comes in low and smooth, with torque available right off the line. It is tuned for efficiency and predictability, giving riders a steady pull without the jerky throttle response found in more aggressive platforms. The engine also sits lower in the frame, which improves center of gravity and balance while riding. One of the most unique features is the storage setup. Where you would expect a gas tank, you get a locking trunk that can fit a full-face helmet. It is waterproof, secure, and shockingly convenient. Riders use it for groceries, gloves, cameras, and even laptops. The real gas tank is located under the seat, which helps balance the bike's weight across the chassis. It is the kind of smart design decision that does not show off, but changes how you ride. The ergonomics are comfortable and relaxed. With a high, wide handlebar, a neutral foot position, and a padded seat, it supports long-distance riding without fatigue. You are sitting upright, not hunched. That means better visibility, less shoulder strain, and more control at lower speeds. Riders coming from cruisers, touring bikes, or even scooters feel right at home on this setup. Fuel efficiency is where this bike really wins. Most riders report over 60 miles per gallon, depending on riding habits and terrain. That means fewer fuel stops, longer rides, and less cash burned over the life of ownership. It is one of the most fuel-efficient motorcycles in its class, and with gas prices only going one direction, that matters more every day. There are also 2 transmission options available on most used models: a traditional 6-speed manual and a dual-clutch automatic. The automatic lets you ride twist-and-go style or shift manually with buttons, making it a great choice for riders who want simplicity without sacrificing performance. It is especially helpful for riders with joint issues or anyone who commutes daily and is tired of working a clutch lever in traffic. Reliability is rock solid. These engines are known for going well over 100,000 miles with basic maintenance. Oil changes are simple, chain tension is easy to manage, and parts are widely available thanks to Honda's global platform. Even better, this bike rarely needs repairs, it just keeps running season after season. Used prices typically fall between $4,500 and $6,000. That is an outstanding value for a mid-size motorcycle that comes with built-in storage, high fuel efficiency, and low-cost ownership. It is not just a good buy, it is a long-term companion for riders who value practicality and comfort. If practicality and comfort win your heart, the NC750X is a sleeper hit, but the next one adds a little more fire to the ride. Number 3. Suzuki GSF650F. Quietly capable and endlessly practical, this one is easy to miss, and that is exactly why so many riders overlook it. While others chase horsepower and chrome, this trike delivers where it really matters: comfort, balance, and everyday usability. It is not trying to be the fastest or the flashiest, but it consistently outperforms expectations. For riders who want something that just works, without drama or a massive price tag, this machine is a sleeper in the best way possible. At its core is a 656 cubic centimeter inline 4-cylinder engine. It produces 85 horsepower and 58 pound-feet of torque, which gives it serious punch for highway riding and back road exploration. That engine delivers a wide, usable power band that's smooth, responsive, and forgiving. Whether you're cruising in a higher gear or cracking open the throttle on a winding road, the response is always right there, predictable and strong. Weighing in at approximately 530 pounds wet, it feels solid but not overbearing. You can carve through corners confidently without the twitchiness of a track-focused machine. It's heavy enough to stay planted on the freeway, but still manageable at low speeds. For daily use, that weight and balance are a huge plus. Riders who have put serious miles on this bike bike often mention how stable and easy it feels, even after hours in the saddle. The real magic here is the riding position. This is not a race bike. It's not pretending to be one either. The seat is upright, the handlebars are positioned for comfort, and the peg placement gives your knees room to breathe. That relaxed geometry makes it an ideal option for longer rides, weekend getaways, or just getting across town in comfort. Riders with bad wrists or aging knees appreciate how this bike feels like it's built for real-world bodies, not just 20-year-old adrenaline junkies. The full fairing adds not only sleek styling, but real wind protection. Whether you're doing 60 miles per hour on a back road or pushing 75 on the freeway, the airflow is managed just right. There's less fatigue on your neck and shoulders, especially during extended rides. Maintenance is refreshingly straightforward. Oil changes are simple. Chain tension is easy to adjust. Air filters, spark plugs, and general servicing don't require a professional mechanic or specialty tools. And since the bike shares engineering DNA with Suzuki's more popular models, parts are easy to find. That keeps costs low and downtime short. You don't need to hunt through rare import forums or chase specialty dealers to keep it running. On the used market, you'll typically find this bike priced between $4,000 and $5,000, depending on condition and mileage. At that price, you're getting a full-size, fully faired inline four-cylinder machine with serious highway capabilities and the comfort of a sport tourer. That's a rare combination, especially in today's market where bikes tend to lean all in on either power or comfort, not both. But if your taste leans European and you love timeless styling with wrench-friendly design, you're going to love the next one. Number 2. Moto Guzzi Fi 7 Classic. Some bikes are built to impress the crowd. Others are built to satisfy the rider. This one does both, quietly, confidently, and with more character than most bikes twice its price. With a unique combination of retro design, smooth street manners, and reliable engineering, this motorcycle captures the spirit of old-school riding without the headaches that often come with it. At the core of this machine is a 744 cubic centimeter V-twin engine. It produces 50 horsepower and 44 pound-feet of torque. These numbers might not make headlines, but on the road, they deliver exactly what most riders are looking for. Enough low-end pull to cruise smoothly in any gear and enough top-end to stay comfortable at highway speeds. Unlike most motorcycles in this class that use chain or belt drives, this one comes with a shaft drive. That means fewer moving parts to maintain, no regular cleaning or tensioning, and an incredibly smooth feel under acceleration. It's quiet, efficient, and nearly maintenance-free. A serious bonus for riders who want to spend more time on the road and less time in the garage. What sets this bike apart, especially for older riders or those with a taste for timeless design, is the aesthetic. It has all the hallmarks of a vintage roadster: round headlights, sculpted tank, dual analog gauges, chrome accents, and spoke wheels. But unlike true vintage bikes, this one starts every time, doesn't leak oil, and won't rattle itself to pieces at freeway speeds. It's all the style without the stress. The ride experience matches the visual promise. The seating position is upright and relaxed. The handlebars are wide and slightly pulled back. The seat is flat and cushioned, and the foot pegs are set in a neutral position. That makes it comfortable for longer rides without sacrificing control in traffic or corners. The low seat height gives riders of all sizes a confident feel at stoplights or in parking lots. Handling is where this bike surprises a lot of people. With a dry weight just over 400 pounds, it's light and easy to maneuver. Whether you're leaning into a curve on a back road or just weaving through city traffic, it stays composed and stable. The suspension setup is basic but well matched to the frame. Maintenance is refreshingly simple. The engine is air-cooled and the layout makes access to most components a breeze. Oil changes, valve adjustments, and filter swaps can all be done in a home garage. That's important for riders who enjoy working on their own machines or want to avoid the cost of constant dealer service. Best of all, it's still affordable. Prices for clean used models hover around $5,000, sometimes less depending on condition and mileage. It's not fast, it's not flashy, and it doesn't pretend to be a superbike. But for riders who appreciate simplicity, authenticity, and the joy of just getting out and riding, this machine hits the mark. It's a true hidden gem that rewards attention, not through numbers on a spec sheet, but through the way it makes you you feel every time you turn the key. And now for the best-kept secret in the motorcycle world, a no-nonsense machine that almost no one talks about. Number 1. Kawasaki ZR-7S. Overlooked by most and underrated by many, this trike skipped the tech race and focused on the fundamentals. No flashy rider modes, no digital distractions, just rock-solid engineering, timeless design, and the kind of reliability that earns respect over time. It was never built to impress spec sheet junkies, but for riders who want a machine that starts every time, rides smooth, and lasts forever, this one delivers in spades. It is only now, years later, that more people are realizing just how right this bike got it from the beginning. At the core of this machine is a 738 cubic centimeter inline 4-cylinder engine. It delivers 75 horsepower and 50 pound-feet of torque, plenty for highway cruising, weekend rides, or spirited backroad runs. It is not a screamer like modern supersports, but the power band is wide and smooth, with just enough grunt at the low end and a satisfying pull once you twist the throttle. It is the kind of engine that makes the ride feel natural, not forced. This bike weighs in at approximately 560 pounds wet, giving it a solid planted feel without being too bulky. It feels balanced and predictable in corners, with enough weight to stay stable at speed, but still agile enough for city riding or carving through sweeping curves. The handling is consistent and forgiving, which makes it perfect for both newer riders and veterans looking for a no-nonsense street bike. What sets this one apart is its complete lack of unnecessary tech. No ride modes, no traction control, no electronic suspension settings. Just a reliable engine, a solid frame, and a mechanical experience that riders from the old school will appreciate immediately. It is the kind of bike where the throttle is a cable, the gauges are analog, and the connection between rider and machine is honest and unfiltered. That simplicity also means it is incredibly easy to maintain. Oil changes, air filter swaps, valve checks, chain adjustments, everything is accessible and straightforward. There are no body panels to remove just to reach a spark plug. If you are the type of rider who likes to work on your own bike in the garage, this machine makes it easy. And with parts readily available thanks to Kawasaki's wide distribution network, you will not have to hunt through obscure forums to find what you need. Comfort is another strong point. The upright seating position, flat handlebars, and neutral foot peg placement make for a relaxed all-day riding stance. The seat is wide and supportive enough for longer rides, and the suspension, while basic by modern standards, is tuned to absorb rough roads without punishing the rider. Visually, it has a modest and purposeful look. The fairing adds wind protection without overcomplicating the design. It has that classic Japanese standard bike silhouette. It is understated, but for a lot of riders, that is exactly the appeal. Now let's talk price. On the used market, this bike routinely shows up between $2,000 and $2,500 in good running condition. That is an exceptional deal for a motorcycle that gives you nearly 75 horsepower, a bulletproof engine, and a platform that is easy to maintain and comfortable to ride. You are not paying for fancy features or flashy branding. You are paying for a solid machine that just works. The best motorcycles aren't always the ones people talk about. They're the ones that never let you down. Which one would you park in your garage? Let us know below and subscribe if you want more real-world motorcycle breakdowns.